Hello. So we're looking at page 63 and 64 from our math book, and we're working on some review strategies. So the first strategy that we'll look at for reviewing is the distributive property. So up here it says that Luna knows the multiplications 4 times 10 and 4 times 2. How can she use their products to find 4 times 12? So the product of 4 times 12. So here we have 4 groups with 12 in each group. And if I don't know that 4 times 12, that large fact, I can definitely use my distributive property. So how does that work? Well, we're going to take that number 12, right? And we're going to put it into 2 and 10 to make 12. So out here I have 4 groups with 2 in each group. 4 times 2. Here I have 4 groups with 10 in each group. 4 times 2. 4 times 10. And if we look at the products or the totals for both of those and put them together, we'll get the product for 4 times 12. So if we look at that, 4 times 2 is 8 plus 4 times 10 is 40. So in the end, we get 48. So we used our smaller facts to solve the larger fact. So now I want you to look at number 2 on page 63 and complete that problem and come back to the video when you're done. Okay, now we're going to be looking at number 3, okay? And we're talking about fact families here. So when we use our fact families, and occasionally they are also called number bonds. So we have 15 for our total, for our product, and 3 and 5 are our factors. So we can use multiplication and division. So we're looking at the multiplication, 5 times 3 makes a total of 15. I can turn that around and say that 3 times 5 is also 15. But because these 3 numbers work together because they're inverse operations, we're going to keep going. We're going to keep thinking about this. So if we take these 3 numbers, they're also going to create our 2 division. So if we're not quite sure what 15 divided by 3 is, we could also go up here and say, well, I do know that 3 times 5 makes 15. So I can use the multiplication to fill in that missing piece for my division equation. Okay, so knowing your fact families or your number bonds can help you use those inverse operations. So look at page 63 again and look at problem number 3 and complete problem number 3, and then come back when you're done. Okay, so now we're going to look at number 6. And number 6 combines 2 strategies. So you might be using the commutative property. So let's look at the problem here. Luna knows that 7 times 3 equals 21. How can she use the commutative property or arrays to find 7 times 3? And I do see my little typo there. So if I look at it with the commutative property, I'm back to that fact family again, that if I know that 3 and 7 makes 21, then I can also switch those orders, right? I'm going to put 3 and 7 and switch the order, because switching the order of the factors will not change my product. So let's say I know my 3 times tables really well. Well, I can use that to know my 7s. Okay. Now, also, arrays look a lot like that. So I can still say that Luna knows 3 times 7 because she has 1, 2, 3 groups or 3 rows with 7 in each row. But remember, if you take an array and you just flip it on its side, now I have 7 rows with 3 in the row. So I have the same number of dots, right? I have just flipped the way that the picture looks. So now you're going to complete number 6 on page 63. And they're going to give you a choice between looking at it, using an array to help solve it, or using the commutative property to help solve a problem. So stop your video and go do that now.